Our colleague Matt Kaminski drew the assignment of visiting Los Angeles in the middle of winter. Nice work, Matt. And while you were out there, along with that great weekend interview with the producer or screenwriter of Zero Dark 30, which I think our readers enjoyed, you also checked in on the Los Angeles mayor's race. And the question you're posing in a piece tonight is whether LA can be salvaged. It's like a lot of big cities. High taxes, slow growth, very powerful unions extracting huge amounts of money from the taxpayers who live within the city limits. Right. And now you've gotten a look at Kevin James, who's a Republican running in the, it's an open primary with all parties represented. What do you make of this guy? Is this a possible turnaround expert?
I've got to look at all.
I've set the bar pretty high for him. What did you think of Kevin James?
I mean, Kevin James is an interesting candidate. This is the first election since the national election in November. He is an openly gay, pro-choice, pro-gun control, school reform Republican. And he has come out of nowhere, really. He was a talk show host on the radio in LA, has no political experience, but that's actually his selling point, that I'm an outsider. The three other main candidates are all members of the city council, which is a very powerful body in LA. And they've been there each of them has been in power for a decade, and they've overseen a decade, really, where Los Angeles has rung up huge deficits. It's lost a lot of jobs. It's gone from a city which 30 years ago was the city of the future. You know, remember that Randy Newman song, I Love LA, right. To being a sort of, as Joe Kotkin calls it, a kind of an aging tinsel town, where, you know, it's sort of ceded ground to the hot cities now, or now Houston, New York, and LA is kind of a has-been.
Okay, but he's obviously, his social agenda is in line with Angelino's.
Sure.
But if he wanted to be a difference maker, and I think this is what he's presenting, is he's got to do something on the economic side, reforming city government in terms of living within its means, creating an environment for business and job growth. What I wonder is, if you're taking on unions in a place like LA, it's going to require intellectual firepower, a work ethic. I mean, I look at people like Chris Christie in New Jersey when he was making the case in 09, 2010, 2011. Paul Ryan with his PowerPoints and graphics. You really need to study and know the budget, know the rules. Does this seem like a serious guy? You mentioned he's a radio host. Any sense of whether he could be that kind of reformer?
I mean, first he has to win. I think that's really that's really the hardest part here. You know, he might be able to sneak in through to the second round. This is going to be a very low turnout primary on Tuesday. Only about 300,000 people will vote. So if he can probably get 15–18%, he can get through and then try and really position himself against Democrat. The problem is the unions, and the very powerful teachers unions, the electricity utility. That's also a city function. Their unions are very strong. They're all going to support the Democratic candidate who's going to emerge. So he has to really get through. The question is, as in New Jersey, are people fed up enough, and are things really bad enough in Los Angeles for voters to try and risk someone else trying, to do it better?
Okay, we'll see what the answer is. Matt, thanks for the report.